Hello everyone, this is Jacob with the Game Block, and today we will be talking about the adorable, the cuddly, the absolutely terrifying Ewoks. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with Battlefront, it has a trooper class system where there are the four main trooper classes, which are Assault, Heavy, Officer, and Specialist. Then there are reinforcements, which there are typically for each side there is an Enforcer, an Infiltrator, and an aerial unit, meaning like they have a jetpack or something. The Ewok is the infiltrator for the Rebel Alliance, and so they would obviously be better than the regular trooper classes. But then above reinforcements are heroes, and though we will be testing the Ewok against other reinforcements and also the trooper classes, we'll also be testing him against the heroes, and they are the best people in the game. So I want to see if the Ewok is good enough to defeat some heroes. So let's jump right into things with the four trooper classes. First up, we have the Imperial Stormtrooper. He is the backbone of the Imperial Army, and he is an assault class in Battlefront 2. Also, he's who you play as an Ewok hunt, so he should have some experience dealing with Ewoks, except now the Ewoks have a bow and arrow, so it could prove a little harder. So, let's see who won. Also, all of this footage I got while playing arcade over SharePlay on the PS4 with one of my friends, and he's of pretty much equal skill level with Battlefront 2, so this should be as accurate as possible on which character is better, because we're around the same skill level. Anyway, let's roll the footage.
Imperial spotted! Armor's coming aboard! Still a job to do! Overheated!
And it looks like the Ewok already has a win under his belt. So, sorry about the video quality as well. I just had it zoomed in on my half of the split screen because we were doing a duel, so the only way to do that is with split screen. So, now that we are done with the Imperial Stormtrooper, onto the Imperial Heavy Stormtrooper, which is of course, heavy class in Battlefront 2. You can technically kind of play as them in Ewok Hunt as well, but it still shows up as you being assault because really all you do is you find a heavy gun somewhere in the forest. But without further ado, this is the Ewok versus the Heavy Stormtrooper.
Imps are coming! Come on!
So it looks like the Heavy Stormtrooper's bigger gun did not make much of a difference against the Ewok, because the Ewok beat him easily. So next up we have the Imperial Officer, and this could be pretty interesting because they have a pistol, not a normal like automatically firing repeating gun. So you could argue that that's worse, but you could also argue it's better. So I guess we'll see who wins. And also, by the way, for all of these, my friend equipped what I and him deemed the best cards and weapons and such for this challenge. So this isn't just all the default stuff. This is what we consider to be like the best cards and weapons and such. So, yeah. Same thing with the Ewok as well, except you can't really change his weapon. So anyway, on with Ewok versus Officer.
Get ready to fight! Those who detonate are heroes!
So, the officer actually put up a pretty good fight. That flash grenade actually did pretty well against the Ewok, because I had to kind of hide for a tiny bit until it wore off. So, anyway, even though the officer did put up a pretty good fight, the Ewoks still won. So now, on to the last of the trooper classes, the Specialist, or should I say, the Scout Trooper, because the Specialist in Battlefront 2 for the Empire is the Scout Trooper. So, basically, the Specialist is kind of like a sniper, but also his L1R1, aka his middle ability, has Infiltration, which basically is a smaller gun that does a lot of damage, and you can use it at close range. So, it'll be fun to see how that turns out. So, anyway, this is the Ewok versus the Specialist, or Scout Trooper. And, fun fact, these actually are the troopers that rode the speeder bikes on Endor in Return of the Jedi. So it looks like the Ewok has some experience dealing with them. Anyway, let's roll the footage.
Finish the trap! Target's coming in! Imps coming in!
So, that didn't take the Ewok that long, to say the least. So, it looks like the trooper classes were no match for the Ewok. But what happens when we get into its own territory, the reinforcements? Next up, we have the Death Trooper. So, he's first seen in Rogue One, and they're basically like the dark black troopers with like the kind of greenish eye slots, or not slots, but like glass things for their eyes. Eye holes, that's what it is. But basically, they are very hard to beat for the Ewok, or at least in a normal Battlefront game. I'm not so sure about one-on-one. So, let's find out. So, here's the Ewok versus the Death Trooper. It looks like one-on-ones are different than big battles because the Ewok has prevailed. Typically, a Death Trooper will be able to beat the Ewok with allies on the battlefront in big battles, but it looks like on a one-on-one, the Ewok rules supreme, especially because he's fighting on Endor, his own planet. Now, on to the ISB Agent, which was added in the same update as the Ewok Hunter, and basically they're both infiltrators for either the Empire or the Rebellion, so they're pretty much the equals on the battlefield. They are meant to fight each other. So it'll be interesting to see which one is indeed better. So, with that out of the way, let's see which one is the better infiltrator. It seems that with each enemy, it gets a little bit harder for the Ewok to defeat them. However, so far the Ewok is still defeating the enemies. But will that be the case for our next enemy? Because the next one is the Imperial Rocket Trooper, which is basically a stormtrooper with a better blaster, a rocket launcher, and a jetpack. So, let's see how the Ewok fares against him.
Hostile inbound. Your position.
So it looks like the Ewok has defeated all of the reinforcements with ease. So this proves that he is the best reinforcement, I think, in my opinion. Now, this is not including the other factions of the dark side and the other light side characters as well. Though, sadly, I can't pit him against because I am not able to download mods because my computer doesn't run Battlefront that well as it is, and mods are not working on the Epic Games version. So, sadly, I'm out of luck for that. But, it looks like the Ewok is now in for a challenge, for he is going up against the first of the heroes, Boba Fett. Will this bounty hunter be scared at all of these Ewoks as the stormtroopers were in Ewok Hunt? He should be. I mean, just look at this. This is a screenshot from Ewok Hunt. Their eyes literally glow. Okay, let's just roll the footage. Get me away from that. Roll the footage, roll the footage.
Hostile inbound. Your position.
Try again. Up, up. Let me work. You're mine.
You got hostiles coming in.
Signature's locked.
So, it looks like even though the Ewok put up a pretty good fight and at one point got Boba Fett down to half health, Boba Fett is the first to defeat our Ewok.
There's no escape from me.
So, while Boba Fett is celebrating his victory, I suppose we should pit the Ewok against the next of the heroes, Bossk. Will this other bounty hunter be able to best the Ewok just like Boba Fett? Or will the Ewok be able to get its first victory over a hero? Time will tell. So, let's roll the footage.
Be careful.
Such glorious
Imperial spotted.
dispensing toxins. should not have come. Breathe death. Trap is set.
So, that was an incredibly good fight. The Ewok got down to 1 health. All hope was lost. I honestly thought I was going to lose because I was playing as the Ewok. And then, Ewok came right back, regenerated, and ended up defeating Bossk. This proves that the Ewok is better than some of the heroes. But, will he be better than any of the other ones? We will see, especially with our next one, how powerful the Ewok really is. Because now he's going up against one of the most powerful of the heroes, Darth Vader. I think you probably all know how this will turn out, but you never know. It might turn out differently than what you think. So I guess we'll see. So, roll the footage.
This will be a very long.
Vader has joined the Imperials. Be cautious.
Imps are coming!
I would not advise you to fight.
Yeah, you know how I said it might not go the way you thought? I can say with a lot of confidence that that probably went the way you thought. So, but I don't think anyone was really expecting Vader to be killed by the Ewok. But still, I think the Ewok put up a really good fight. So, I think we can move on past that. Not really much that needs to be said there. So, on to our next hero, which is Emperor Palpatine. Will a measly little Ewok be able to defeat the Emperor of the entire galaxy? Let's see, right now.
I thank you for
Emperor
bringing this
Palpatine is
to my
here.
attention.
Target's coming in!
Like apprentice, like master, Palpatine has defeated the Ewok just like Vader. And speaking of Vader, we now have his grandson coming up. That's right, we have Kylo Ren versus the Ewok. I wonder if Kylo Ren will carry all the strength that his grandfather did against the Ewok, or will he be defeated, just like Bossk? Well, let's see.
Where they coming from?
Long past time I was called.
Imperial leader on the ground! Not sure who!
Target's coming
The
in!
enemy at last.
So it looks like Kylo Ren with a triple-bladed lightsaber has defeated the Ewok. But, will the person with the double blades be able to do the same? Next up, we have Darth Maul versus the Ewok.
What do you seek?
Some kind of special combatant on the ground! Hostile inbound! Your position!
So it looks like the Ewok wasn't able to quite defeat one of the most feared beings in the galaxy, but I think he put up a pretty good fight. He actually got some shots in, which is more than you can say for a few other characters when they face Darth Maul. But next up, we have the character that was made specifically for Battlefront 2, the one who's the main character of the story mode. That's right, the Ewok is now going to face against Iden Versio.
Infantry heading your way. Coming.
So it looks like Iden Versio's secondary fire and melee attacks were too much for the Ewok. But will the Ewok be able to withstand the onslaught of attacks from the captain of all the First Order's troops, Captain Phasma? Let's see right now.
Enemy elite on sight. Watch out. Imperial spotted.
And you may live. A mere scratch.
You got hostiles coming in.
You are surrounded and outmatched.
It looks like the Ewok spear was no match for Phasma's state-of-the-art staff. But speaking of that spear, it might belong to someone else now, because next up is a person who's extremely fond of collecting single-bladed weapons. Can you guess who? I think General Grievous might now soon have another weapon to add to his collection.
Attacking. Who is that? Imperial elite on the ground. Targets coming in.
A fine addition to my collection.
And as Grievous gets another fine collectible, it seems that we are down to our last two heroes. First of these is the former Jedi who decided to take a different route on his career path. That's right, we're on to Count Dooku now. Will his duelist skills be able to match the might of the Ewok in his home forest of Endor? Let's see right now.
The numbers.
Perhaps a demonstration of my
Some kind of special
power.
combatant on the ground. Imps coming in.
For civil discourse has passed. Your every thought is mine.
So even though the Ewok took out a pretty decent chunk of Count Dooku's health, it seems that Dooku won in the end. But will our next and final combatant be so lucky? Next up, we have BB-9E, the droid who captured Finn, Rose, and BB-8 in The Last Jedi. Will he be able to do the same for the Ewok, or will he simply not take prisoners? Let's see, right now.
Hostile spotted! Still active.
I think that was one of the closest battles we had yet. I honestly thought the Ewok could have won there, but sadly he didn't, so I guess that's all of our characters. Overall, I'd say that the Ewok is a very good reinforcement. He beats all the trooper classes easily, which is what you'll mainly be going up against in a big battle in Battlefront. And the other reinforcements he also defeated, which are the second most common. You won't find a hero all too often on the battlefront, and he could even beat Bossk, which is one of the dark side heroes. So overall, I think he's an incredibly good reinforcement, and I think that I can end this video saying that the Ewok I would rate a 8 out of 10. So, with that out of the way, thank you all for watching. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and like the video. It really helps the channel grow, and it's free, so why not? And also, please follow me on Twitter at _GameBlock. There you can find all kinds of news updates and such for my channel. With that out of the way, thank you all for watching. I'm Jacob with the Game Block, signing off.